Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while, but I had to take a little break for myself. So today is gonna be a video for all my I guess you wanna say not first time home buyers, but everyone who's searching for apartments and first time moving out of mom and dad's house and things like that. Just a couple tips and tricks. So stay tuned. Okay, y'all. So I know a lot of you have heard from like parents and grandparents or like mentors that you should save up at least 3 months worth of rent. That would be good, but when we're being honest and we're looking at it from clear lens, that's probably not always possible, especially if you're in a situation you want to get out of ASAP, whether it's you're moving up from college into your own place, moving from mom and dad's into your own place. It's not always, you don't always have the amount of time to go ahead and do all of that. So one of the first things I wrote down, because I have a list here, is set aside at least $120 alone just for your application fees. Some places can be $20. That's the cheapest I've seen. It's like $25. But some places can go all the way up to $50. So if you're applying for a place, well, trying to get a couple places in, that's $50. That's only, even with the 120, you're only able to apply for two. So you also want to look at that, like when you're looking at, once you see kind of what their application fee is, you kind of sort of see that'll kind of tell you how much their like rent and stuff is, because the higher that is, the higher the rent is. So yeah, set aside that 120 for application fees. Then you want to make a list of your top 5 to 10 apartments, whether it's your dream, like within that list, you want to be as real as possible. You want to you want to be honest with yourself on what you can afford and what you cannot afford. You want to be honest about what neighborhood you actually want to be in, and you also want to kind of look at wherever you're working or wherever you're going to school. You want to be able to look at that so you know distance, whether you're getting public transportation, whether you're getting Lyfts, whether you're driving yourself. You want to take all that in consideration. The next thing is start applying within 2 to 4 months ahead of when you want to move in. Because you can always, once you get accepted, they allow you to pick your move-in date. So you don't have to necessarily move in right then and there. But I don't think, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they don't let you like do it way far out, like 2 years ahead of time. I don't think they really have a waiting list like that. But I'm pretty sure that they'll allow you to do it, because I did it, and I think mine, when I moved in, my moving date was like about 1.5, 2 months after we signed the lease and all of that. So you want to apply ahead of time, because it is a process. They have to look at your rental history. If you don't have any, they have to contact previous, like who you stayed with and stuff like that. They're checking your credit. They're checking your income to make sure all of that is correct. That does take time. And some apartments will move quicker, but you don't want to take that chance, especially if you have a deadline by a certain time that you have to be out of your current situation. Um, so my next thing is try applying between like this transitional seasons. Most likely it's best to do probably fall and winter, because a lot of apartments have um, deals. They have like you get 1 month rent free, or you don't have to pay the deposit, stuff like that. Stuff that's actually good because it'll keep money in your pocket. My next thing is try finding a place that includes some type of utility, whether it's water, gas, electric, something, because that puts more money into your pocket and helps you save. Because a lot of people don't realize that once you're in your own place, you have to provide a lot of things for yourself. You can't depend on other people as you would staying with other people. You have to pay for your electric. You have to pay for your cable, including stuff like your phone bill. You have to pay for that. If you have a vehicle, you have to pay for your gas, your insurance. If you don't, you have to pay for your transportation. You have to pay for your food, insurance, health insurance, or whatever. You have to pay for all of that. And on top of when you're getting your furniture, furnishing your place and things like that. So you want to cut costs as much as possible. So try to look for a place that the biggest thing would be electric. That would cut down the most costs. But water is helpful too. Because depending on where you're at, some places you get the water bill every 3 months, some places every month. So depending on the area that you're in, but I would say that's very, very helpful. Um, Read the reviews. A lot of reviews, it depends really um, on the area, because sometimes you do have people who are a little bougie who set in the reviews is like not that serious, like, oh, they didn't they didn't pick up the trash is outside. Or it'd be like it's a Christmas holiday and no one's answering the phone. Stuff like that. Like that doesn't make sense. Don't pay attention to those, but as you're skimming through the reviews, you want to look at whether they're saying there's in some type of infestation. If it's mice or ants or roaches, something like that, that's something you pay attention to. You also want to pay attention to the customer service reviews to see how fast they're responding to certain things if certain things are going on. So reviews are always good. You can't always pay attention to every single one because, like I said, a lot of people do over exaggerate, but you want to look at them just in case to be safe. Research the leasing company. Um, I would say this is important because there are some smaller apartments that is like independent, I guess you would say. So that person may have been sued for taking um, people's money, basically. There's scammers out there who own apartment buildings who take people's money and then goes back behind and says they didn't pay their rent. So you want to research stuff like that just to be safe for your sake, because no one wants to have to hurry up and get out of a place even though they just put up the money for it. So research that. Take pictures of like the space inside when you're taking the tours and stuff, whether it's a virtual tour, you can screenshot it, or you're actually going and take pictures, so that if that is the place that you decide to go into, or that is the place you're accepted to, you know the format, so that when you're going to pick furniture, whether it's afterwards or beforehand, or if you have to order it and it doesn't come until you're already in, you know what size furniture and dimensions kind of from the picture, um, so that you'll be able to know, instead of having to, go back in and say, hey, I need to see for whatever. You already have it, and you can already start to kind of decorate in your head. Okay, I think I want this color palette or whatever. So always take pictures. And then also, because once you move in, if your apartment has something that was not at the one you looked at, you can say something. And you could try to get in the one that you wanted to be in. If it's like something weird, the format of the wall or whatever, you can always say something. Um, if possible, explore the neighborhood in the area in the evening. Um, Without going too much in depth, a lot of sketchy things happen once the sun sets. So you want to kind of know what's going on in the area. There's some things that's like basic, like, oh, people are outside smoking cigarettes. That's basic. or their kids playing outside. That's basic. But there are certain things, certain activities that you don't want to be around. So go ahead and look out for that and go out in the evening. Even if you don't have to stay there in the evening, but just like drive around or take a ride in the area, kind of look and see if it's anything too sketchy or anything that you don't like or you don't particularly want to be around. Then you'll know whether or not you want to move there. Um, yeah, like I said, take in consideration your grocery bill and your transportation. Um, Groceries are not cheap, especially if you're um, like have a certain type of dietary restriction. That is, it's not easy to go in the store and find it and spend $20. Granted, the Walmart and like the Dollar Tree and things like that, those different places do have pretty good deals. And you can find a lot of stuff there, but there are sometimes you get more bang for your buck at a bigger store, at a more expensive store. Not expensive, but like a bigger store, like a regular grocery store. So sometimes you'll have to set, like, I would definitely say set aside at least $150 per month for groceries. And that's only if you're by yourself. Because if it's someone else moving with you, it's your significant other or you having a roommate or whatever, you definitely need more than that. But 150, because you always want to have a case of water in case of any emergency, a storm comes up. You always want to have some type of backup going on. You want to have you some canned goods, some noodles. Like, that's basic necessities. Because if all goes wrong, you always have that to fall back on. If you run out of food, that's something you can easily go ahead and make. Like eggs, bread, cheese, basic stuff like that. Those are things you always want to have, um, along with your case of water and Gatorade, because Gatorade is really good for you as well. Let's see what else. So when you're going in, you want to have your proof of income, whether it's a pay stub or benefits letter, like if you have SSI or something like that, or if you're getting a retirement check, which don't know how you would get that if it's your first place, but something like that. You want to have your proof of income, a state issue ID. Um, this is not required, but I would take it anyway, just to make you look a little bit better on the list of everyone they're looking at. Um, a letter of recommendation, because a lot of people do go in assuming that they automatically get the place and that they're automatically going to get accepted. You want them to know that you're going an extra mile. So with you going an extra mile, they're going to know you're going to take care of their property. Okay? So then a list of your previous residents, whether it was your parents, what do you call it, like a roommate situation or something like that. You want to have your references. They do ask for that. Your social security card or number. It depends, because I don't think they don't copy it, but they do take it down on file. They do copy your ID though, so you definitely will need that on hand. And then a credit report. They sometimes, I know they do search it themselves, but it'll save time if you go ahead and print it yourself as well. That way they have something to look at, even though they have to look back in, because they do ask you like what type of things you have on there. That way they know you're not just making stuff up. So you have it on paper, you have proof. Um, Always consider how much you have to move. So wherever you're coming from, consider if you're moving your bed or if you're moving like a dresser, how much clothes you have, so that you know what type of moving vehicle you need. If you can just use someone's pickup truck, or if you have to go physically actually get a U-Haul. And then you want to consider how long you need a U-Haul, and you want to actually consider that amount too, because it does cost to rent a U-Haul. So you want to keep that in mind as well. And then last but not least, make an item of the thing, make an itemized list of the things you have to purchase, whether it's the microwave, pots and pans, sheets, a bed, a mattress, whatever. And when you're making that list, you also want to kind of go look online and search up different websites. Like look on Walmart, look on Amazon. Make that cart already so that you know how much, even if it's before taxes, but you can still calculate the taxes yourself. But so that you'll know how much you'll have to put aside for that as well. Whether, because you don't really want to, unless you're at your parents, you don't really want to order that. Because if you're like in a roommate situation or someone else's house, you don't want to have to move it from there. Now your parents, 9 times out of 10, will always want to help you. So they'll be willing to allow you to store that so that you can come back and get it and take it to your new place. But like as far as your pots and pans, and that's another thing, it's your first place. You don't have to go all out. You don't have to be all spritzy with it. I would suggest Walmart, Amazon, like I said. Burlington has good pots, pan sets, sheet sets, pillows, decor, home decor, different things like that. TJ Maxx, who else? Former Mills has little small items. Um, TJ Maxx. What's the other one? Marshalls. Home Goods is not cheap. I'm not even gonna say that. Home Goods is not cheap. But places like that, and then also go ahead and post it on your social media. Your friends, like old friends or whatever, they may want to help you out. They may want to send you a couple items. So already, that's why I say already have in your head the color palette that you want to do, and the theme. If you're doing a theme, like my home theme is Paris and Eiffel Tower and stuff. So that way you can tell people like, hey, if you're getting something, if you want to help me out, like if they say they're going to help you out or they want to send you something, tell them your color scheme and your theme. And that way you'll know, oh, I have something coming that'll help spruce up my house a bit. Um, Small appliances as well. Go to Walmart or Burlington for toasters, microwaves. Because the microwave I bought, I believe, was about $75. And that's also why I said to try to move within the fall or the winter. Because if you move right around when the colleges are going back, they have like the dorm room size stuff or the regular size stuff, but it's the sale for like the colleges. That's baby girl out there yelling. Um, then you also can do like Black Friday sales and the holiday sales. They have stuff marked down for that, especially TVs, because TVs are not cheap. Um, and I will also suggest not doing cable. Um, I was, because if you're working or whatever, regardless, cable, it's repetitive things. They air the same shows and movies every few hours, basically. So I would suggest go ahead and go on Amazon, get you a Fire Stick, and just have your internet hookup. Um, because you can put the different apps and stuff on there, pay for those individual apps like Philo. Philo is basically cable TV, the different shows and the different networks you can watch on there, and I think it's about $10 or something like that. So stuff like that, and Crackle, and what's the other one? Tubi, different apps like that. Some are free, some you have to pay a little membership cost, but and Netflix and stuff, well Netflix and Hulu and stuff like that, they have things where you can get cable networks, I think, attached to it or something like that, but it's less money than actually paying for cable. So yeah, guys, that is the end of this video. I just wanted to give a little tips and tricks because I know it's a lot of people moving out of mom and dad's or moving into their own place for the first time, and they're kind of sketchy or don't really know what exactly to do, and it's not always a handbook telling you the real deal about what to do. Um, so yeah, as always, I thank you guys for watching and tuning in. And go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below what you liked about this video, what you guys want to see next from me. And go ahead and share it with your friends and family. Let them know Lady Blissel is what's up. Goodbye.